Have you ever wondered what makes your cat go wild, sleepy, or even aggressive around catnip? We're gonna break it all down so you can understand your cat's crazy catnip antics a little better. In this video, we uncover the science behind catnip and how it impacts your feline friend. From zoomies to naptime vibes, catnip can spark some surprising reactions. But did you know that not all cats are affected? That's right, some cats couldn't care less about the nip, and we'll dig into why that is. So grab your feline friend, get ready for some laughs, and let's unravel the mystery of catnip together. Okay, so what is it about catnip that turns our feline friends into purring, drooling bundles of energy? The answer lies in a little compound called nipetolactone. Think of it like catnip's secret weapon, the thing that sends cats into a frenzy. When your cat gets a whiff of this stuff, it binds to receptors in their little noses, kinda like a key fitting into a lock. And bam! That's when the fun begins. These receptors send signals to the brain, specifically to the parts that control emotions, behaviors, and, wait for it, pleasure. Yeah, you heard that right. Catnip basically gives your cat a legal high. It mimics the effects of pheromones, those chemical signals that cats use to communicate with each other. So, when your cat catches a whiff of nipetolactone, it's like they're getting a super dose of feel-good vibes. Some cats go bonkers, running, jumping, and acting like they've got a serious case of the zoomies. Others get super mellow and relaxed, maybe even a little bit sleepy. And then there are those who get a little frisky, rubbing on everything and getting all up in your business. But here's the thing about nipetolactone, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. The intensity and type of reaction vary depending on the cat. After about 5 to 15 minutes, your cat's brain is like, okay, enough of that, and they slowly return to their normal selves. So there you have it, the science behind the catnip craze. So, we've established that catnip sends some cats into a euphoric frenzy. But what about those felines who couldn't care less? You present them with the good stuff, the primo catnip, and they just sniff and walk away. Well, just like with humans, cats are individuals. They have their own unique preferences, and their response to catnip is no different. The ability to react to catnip is actually determined by genetics. There's a specific gene, and if a cat inherits the right version of this gene from their parents, boom! They're gonna be susceptible to catnip's charms. But if they don't inherit that gene, catnip's gonna be about as exciting as a pile of dust bunnies. Think of it like this. Imagine a big family reunion, and there's a karaoke machine. Some folks are gonna be belting out tunes, feeling the music deep down in their souls. Others might tap their feet and enjoy the show, but they wouldn't be caught dead singing in public. Catnip sensitivity works in a similar way. It's all about whether or not your cat won the genetic lottery when it comes to this specific gene. Kittens typically don't show any interest in catnip until they're about 6 months old. But once they hit puberty, if they've got the gene, they might suddenly become catnip fiends. So, if your cat doesn't react to catnip, don't sweat it. They're just expressing their individuality. And hey, maybe they've got other talents, like catching those elusive red dots or ruling the house with an iron paw. Every cat is special in their own way, catnip enthusiast or not. Catnip power-ups, using catnip for training, stress relief, and playtime fun. For those of you lucky enough to have a card-carrying member of the Catnip fan club, let's talk about how you can use this magical herb to your advantage. Catnip can actually be a powerful tool for enriching your cat's life, from training to stress relief and everything in between. Let's start with training. Want to teach your cat to use a scratching post instead of your brand new sofa? Sprinkle some catnip on that post, and watch them go to town. Trying to get your cat accustomed to their carrier? A little catnip inside can transform it from a scary dungeon into a cozy haven. Catnip can also be a godsend when it comes to stress relief. Moving to a new home, a trip to the vet, even a new house guest can throw them off their game. But catnip? Catnip is like a warm, fuzzy blanket for the soul. Sprinkle some catnip on their favorite bed or scratching post, and let them indulge in a little sensory therapy. The calming effects of nipetolactone can help ease their anxiety and bring them back to their happy purring selves. And of course, let's not forget about the power of catnip for playtime fun. If your cat is the type to go bonkers for the nip, then you know a little catnip can turn a boring afternoon into an epic play session. Catnip toys are a great way to tap into your cat's inner hunter. Just be prepared for some serious acrobatics and maybe a few zoomies around the house. Catnip overdrive, the risks of too much of a good thing. We've talked about all the awesome ways catnip can enrich your cat's life, but as with any good thing, moderation is key. Yes, even when it comes to something as seemingly harmless as catnip. Now before you panic, I'm not talking about any serious health risks. Catnip itself is not toxic to cats. In fact, it's pretty darn safe overall. But overdoing it, well, that can lead to some less than desirable side effects. One of the most common side effects of catnip overload is an upset tummy. If your cat goes to town on the nip, they might experience some vomiting or diarrhea. Another thing to watch out for is aggression. While catnip generally makes cats feel good, some cats can become overstimulated and even aggressive when they're overindulging. And here's a kicker. Cats can actually build up a tolerance to catnip over time. So, if you're constantly giving them the good stuff, they might start to need more and more to get the same effect. By being mindful of how much catnip you're offering and how often, you can help your cat enjoy all the benefits of this amazing herb without any of the unwanted side effects. It's all about finding that sweet spot, that perfect balance between indulgence and moderation. The perfect catnip experience safety tips and how to be a good nip supervisor. We want our feline overlords to have the best, most enjoyable catnip experience possible, right? Of course we do, so here are a few tips to ensure your cat's safety and maximize their catnip enjoyment. First things first, safety. While catnip itself is pretty darn safe, you still want to be a responsible cat parent and supervise your cat's nip sessions, especially if it's their first rodeo. Make sure they're in a safe environment where they can't hurt themselves while they're busy rolling around and getting their groove on. And speaking of safety, let's talk about storage. Catnip might be a magical herb, but it can lose its potency if it's not stored properly. Exposure to air, light, and moisture can zap the catnip of its power, leaving you with a jar of sad, ineffective herbs. To keep your catnip fresh and potent, store it in an airtight container in a cool, dark place. Now let's talk about presentation. Just like we humans appreciate a beautifully plated meal, cats enjoy a little catnip presentation too. Instead of just dumping a pile of catnip on the floor, try offering it in a fun and interactive way. Catnip toys are a fantastic option. They come in all shapes and sizes, from fuzzy mice to crinkly balls to kickers filled with organic catnip. These toys provide both mental and physical stimulation, keeping your cat entertained and engaged. Another pro tip? Try sprinkling a little catnip on your cat's scratching post or inside their carrier. This can encourage them to use these items more often, which is a win-win for everyone involved. The key is to find what works best for your feline friend and let them lead the way. Unleashing the Power of Catnip, a guide for every cat parent. So, there you have it, the ins and outs of catnip, from the science behind its effects to practical tips for incorporating it into your cat's life. Whether you're trying to spark some playtime energy, soothe your kitty's nerves, or figure out why your cat suddenly loses interest in catnip, we've got you covered. Remember, a little catnip can go a long way in enriching your cat's life, providing them with moments of pure joy, relaxation, and all-around feline fun. Just be sure to use it responsibly, pay attention to your cat's individual reactions, and always prioritize their safety and well-being. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more fun and practical tips to keep your cat happy, healthy, and loved. Let's dive in.